Hi, everybody. This is Tom with a special message to all the Redditor listeners out there. And that's to plug the great new DEX subreddit, r/nextthink, and with it, an upcoming special AMA featuring your favorite DEX show regular guest, Jeffrey Wright from Mondelez International. Hosted by the DEX show, Jeff will be answering your questions and ours live on the subreddit, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Wednesday, June 10th. And you can get a link to the subreddit in the show notes too. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Hey, IT changemakers, and welcome to the DEX Show with Tom McGraw. Let's get into it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the DEX Show. Listen, we try and be responsive to the zeitgeist here on the DEX Show, and we couldn't, aware as we are of a World Cup approaching, we wanted to get a really relevant guest. So it's a great honor and privilege to welcome Louis Suarez to this show. Louis, how you doing?
Good, Tom. Unfortunately, I'm not the Luis Suarez you're referring to.
Oh no!
But I'll
Oh
try.
no! You're kidding. I'm gonna have to have a word with our production team. I'm afraid. But we're very happy to have you on anyway. So you
Likewise.
you you might be fortunate to be a North American, Louis, because you probably you've never escaped comments about your name in the rest of world, as they like to say.
Yeah, well, we've got European offices, so whenever Luis Suarez would do something interesting, my email would blow up in my texts, and we're also very fortunate, here in South Florida, we have a very big, European soccer contingent, so lot of fans down here.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, we will be sticking our teeth into something other than the World Cup today. Okay, that's the end of the Suarez jokes. I promise. No, but we're absolutely delighted to have you on. CTO at H.I.G Capital. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your role there to begin with.
Sure. So, as you said, I'm the CTO for H.I.G Capital. Been here little over 2 decades. I've gotten to see an impressive growth from 4 billion AUM to 75 billion AUM, from four offices, North America based, to now we're global, having offices in Europe, Asia, and Latin America, as well as the U.S. So our geographic footprint has expanded dramatically. Users across all of that geography. And our world just continues to get more complex as our users are more spread out, more demanding, as they should be. And we've really tried to be operationally efficient as well as maintaining good response to our users operationally, as we're almost operate about 20 hours out of the 24-hour cycle. Um, our users are up and running.
We had sort of a couple of months ago, almost now, I think, a really fantastic kind of preliminary chat, which made us, want to get you on the show. We covered things like AI adoption, organizational transformation, workforce enablement, all kinds of things we're going to get into
Right.
shortly. But one thing that really struck me coming off that conversation was the realization that, hey, you're CTO, you're not CIO on paper. How do you see the CTO role evolving, or the distinctions between them starting to blur, perhaps that old boundary between technology leadership and business transformation?
Yeah. So you're using the exact word there. It's a blurring of the functions. I've actually had the CIO role title, the CTO title, and they've really become blurred. Technology now is not just a back office operation. It's not a just a pure cost center. We believe we're helping to drive the business. We're helping to enable the business. You mentioned AI, you mentioned data, and all of these items are becoming increasingly more important to the business. And so we are in the age of AI. We are driving it, supporting it. For us, we're using AI at the beginning of the business cycle when we're looking at deals, all the way to the execution and the operation, not only for ourselves, but for the 100 plus portfolio companies that we own and operate. So it is a constant conversation. How can technology be a partner to the business? It's no longer an afterthought. We're being brought in early in the conversation, and we're being asked to help deliver value all the time.
100%. And you used a phrase I really loved, equal opportunities disruptor, I should say, with regards to AI as an equal opportunities disruptor. Tell us what that means at HIG.
Yeah, so at HIG, we're looking at AI as a dual-edged sword. So we're looking at it across the business that we've invested in, how it can help those businesses. In some cases, provide more efficiencies, help create new product lines, um, help them explore areas that they had not been able to in the past. But by the same token, we need to be realistic. AI is the major disruptor going on right now. So we look at businesses that we have today, businesses that we're going to buy, that we're going to invest in. Is AI an existential threat to that business? And in some cases, we've had to look at some of our portfolio companies and really help them really retool themselves to be a different business than what they were when we originally entered it. To that, because no business is isolated or immune to the effects of AI, and so we're trying to make sure that in our case the effects are positive, and where they're not so positive, we're using our business acumen, our 30 plus years of experience to really turn the corner for those businesses and turn what could have been a negative into a positive for them.
Maybe for anybody outside the financial sector, I'm sure we'll be curious to hear you unpack some of the ways that human and AI collaboration is creating new kind of industry specific opportunities that you've got to help ensure the company's taking advantage of. Maybe tell us about some of those that you've got your eye on.
Yeah, so we're obviously looking internally to us. We're using it to help us process data better, more deals, more information. I mean, we're living in the age of data. We're now getting more data on prospective deals than we've ever gotten. And so the human is still in the loop, but it's really right now the age of agents and digital assistants, and helping our invest professionals really process this data more, find those nuggets of information that really help us either identify a deal that maybe we would not have looked at before, or identify a new uh, piece of insight that maybe avoids us getting into a deal that we should not have gotten into. And then operationally, the companies that we are involved with, we are using AI on a constant basis to help the companies find more efficiency, to help them drive better value in their processes. In some cases, there's your standard processes that are across any business, AP, AR, all of the HR, all of these standard business. But then even within specific sectors, manufacturing, business services, there's all these opportunities to really drive more value, help them find new business opportunities. That, as I said earlier, in the past, maybe they didn't have the manpower or a person power to go in, and now AI is allowing them to really explore these in a quicker, better fashion than ever before.
Hypothetically, at least, efficiencies are relatively easy to could be easy to demonstrate. We can imagine demonstrating an efficiency easier than we can imagine demonstrating value. I think through this
Correct.
kind of use case, at least. So, how are you able to How are you able to or aspiring to measure and demonstrate the impact this kind of technology is having in the organization?
Yeah. So right now we are obviously like everyone else. Not struggling is the wrong word, but we are exploring that ability to identify quantifiable value in our processes. So in processes that we are totally re-engineering, that's an easy case. We have an original DNA of RPA technology, so we're using that methodology where we have processes where we're going in and we're injecting a new AI process, beginning to end. We're able to quantify that upfront and measure that and continue to measure. In the cases of using Gen AI tools, such as your OpenAI and your Anthropics, where we're allowing our users and encouraging our portfolio companies to use them, we are right now extrapolating that based on the usage that we're seeing and really talking to those high consumption users and asking them, what are you doing? And not from a negative. There are pockets of greatness going on as we bring in this technology. And our challenge is to take these innovative things that our users are doing with this newly democratized technology and take that and enterprise take that to an enterprise approach and really let the rest of our community, whether it's on our portfolio companies, whether it's an HIG, and bring these new skills, these new prompts, and bring them out to the masses and let them all gain the value to it. And some of our best wins that we've had are coming from some of these users, some of these power users that are now being able to be empowered to really use these great tools that are out there with some guidance, with some guardrails, with some upskilling, and they're creating some fantastic products to then use inside the firm to really make ourselves better.
Tell us a bit more about how you're able to facilitate that kind of internal disruption. And is that an area where that kind of blurred boundary between CIO and CTO is most blurred, as it were?
Absolutely. We have to the days of saying no, the day of saying things takes months, years to develop are gone, right? So we are being challenged in a positive way to go ahead and drive the new technology, the new innovation to really help problem solve. And so the example I give is I could be talking to you today about Claude, about ChatGPT, and tell you everything it's going to do. And the moment I finish the call, there's five new features. And so in the CIO CTO role, we need to be enablers. I need to be an enabler. My peers need to be enablers, which is to drive the technology in a secure, in a safe way, but to really drive it for our users, the business. Um, the days, as I said, of saying no, we have to wait, we are gone. The cycles are really quick now. And so we've been driving, and as well as continuing to explore the landscape for new tools, new features constantly. We can't wait for the users to come to the request for us. We need to come with the ideas to the table and say, we have a new offering, we have a new product, we have a new technology. And I think you can use it for this or that, and then have that partnership to go ahead and drive towards the solutions quicker.
Amazing. And as an equal opportunities disruptor, how is IT enabling AI to transform itself internally?
Oh, absolutely. You really hit an important point. You can't be embracing this technology without using it yourself. And so while our CEO has mandated the firm embrace AI and is providing the mandates, the training, the upskilling, the funding, within my organization, we have made it. I have made it a clear mandate that we are to be embracing AI in every part of our work streams. The days of working harder, we already work harder. So now we have to work smarter. And so we are trying to find opportunities wherever possible to really be, in some cases, on the bleeding edge of trying some of this technology, so that as we're being asked to support and deploy it, we've already been using it. We've already been fluent in it. And so we're using it from everything to analyze our problems better, to provide solutions, to speed up our development of new tools within IT. And we've been doing this for the last 2 years, and it's just been increasing. And so we are the first adopters, which means we're also the first ones to quantify whether the solution has value or not. And that is a constant ongoing process.
Where have you seen the most value?
For the IT organization, it's really been in problem resolution. It's been fantastic. We have our in our service desk. It is now part of almost every work stream that they have. A problem comes in, we're using Gen AI to analyze, to come up with the first set of answers. What's really amazing about this technology is that we're taking all sorts of information in. We're taking in logs, we're taking in pictures, we're taking in user comments, taking all of that, then leveraging our decades worth of knowledge that we have about our environment and coming up with solutions. Our time to close tickets has dramatically improved for us, which really leads to a better end user experience. And that's really what it's all about. It's really about providing our users with a quicker response, getting them resolved quicker. And so we're really pushing in and we're embracing technology that allows us to go ahead and get more information about our user experience without having to ask them. We now have access to more data than we've ever had. These tools now let us correlate this information to really understand what the problem is, what the perceived problem is, and really what the real problem is, and then drive to a better resolution for our users.
We just published on our sister YouTube channel, Solar for CIO. Everybody listening who hasn't checked that out should check that out. We just published an amazing interview with the Leidos CIO. Um, and one of the things she said that I'm hearing a lot at the moment is that DEX is really increasingly seen as a crucial enabler or foundation for successful AI transformation. I'm interested, does this align with your perspective? And if so, why are those two things so married together?
Absolutely. So, we've been on the DEX journey for the last 18 months progressively. And part of it comes to what I was talking about, which is that end user experience. A user is only going to be able to tell you so much. So a good DEX solution, an approach of embracing it, allows you to really uncover issues that your user may not be aware of. In our case, as I mentioned earlier, we're running about 20 hours of active time on our users out of a 24-hour day. So my team is spread around the world to be able to collect information not only about the user, but our entire enterprise, and really say, oh, this person's having a problem. What does it look like against collecting all that information, leveraging it, having a good AI platform on top of that? I mean, the efficiencies that we have found have been great, but more importantly, we are uncovering true root causes of issues um, more efficiently, more in depth than ever before. Whereas in the past, I think a lot of times you were seeing symptoms. We are now able to really uncover the root cause and take the noise away with it. And I think we've now reached a level in our maturity where we are seeing things almost a minute or two ahead of the user actually reporting it. We are getting really to be in that what I've really strived for, which is that proactive approach of getting to the issues before the users are really surfacing them to us. And then also, our users are busy. They'll report a problem, and DEX really allows us to investigate it deeper and more thoroughly without having to take up more of their time. We're coming to the table with answers versus questions. And I think DEX is critical to that.
And what about directly facilitating that kind of external transformation piece we were discussing earlier? So, adoption, experience, productivity, and so on. How is DEX contributing to your ability to lead AI transformation externally?
So we are with DEX, with the information that we're gaining, the insight that we're gaining, we're able to identify areas where we had not thought about in the past of saying, well, maybe AI might be able to help with this. Also, DEX is giving us visibility into the AI usage as well. So we have other observability products, but DEX gives us just that next level of granularity. So taking that information, layering in what we've seen before, it really allows us to model what our user behavior is for AI. um, as I said, with resolving problems, you're seeing issues that users are not necessarily reporting. AI usage, we're able to identify power users or processes they're using for that we really didn't see before. So the more knowledge we have, the more ability we have to go ahead and uncover, as I said before, these pockets of greatness that are going on within the firm on this AI adoption of what we're doing. And so that's really, we're engaging with users that are really coming to us. Oh, I didn't know you knew that I was doing that. And we're like, we think we saw enough signals to it. Let's have a conversation. And once you bring a user into that conversation, like that, they are part of the solution now. And that is the really biggest way to get to a successful adoption.
And is that visibility, that added visibility, contributing in turn to what we were discussing earlier regarding measuring value, whether it's measuring efficiencies, measuring value, and really kind of demonstrating the kind of AI ROI piece.
Yes, by us identifying these folks, quantifying this, it gives us another measure of the value proposition. We're all spending a lot of money on tokens now. We're investing, not spending, investing a lot of money on this technology. And the more layers of usability, more layers of productivity that we can get in, not one layer is the answer, but these multiple layers are really allowing us to go ahead and pinpoint and say, this is where the efficiency opportunity is. And then come back and say, and quantify it and say, here's where we're seeing it. And so between DEX, other tools of observability, putting all those together, we have more information available to us to really help us quantify that than ever before. And we're using every angle that we can with that.
Um, Tell us about the DEX roadmap from here on out. What stands out to you? What are you excited about over the next couple of years?
Yeah, we're actually uh, going harder and harder into DEX. So DEX from observability is just the first part. The next part with the DEX tool that we've chosen, it's the ability, because AI is so integrated into it, to be able to remediate, to be able to take things that we know that we've identified and really have it go ahead and get into this self-healing model to where as issues come up, be able to, in a lot of cases, come in and say, oh, the system itself can now help solution. That is really our end goal. Where we are right now, which is fantastic, is it is with the use of the AI tools that are built into it, it is allowing, instead of having a human going in and collecting the data, there's a problem. There's these agentic workflows that are collecting data and really processing it for us in a way that we need. Instead of a human going in and saying, I need to collect these 5 pieces of data or 10 or 20 or 30, the DEX tool is now really serving it up in this great fashion. We've seen great results to it now. As we escalate in our internal processes, the person getting the escalation now has what they need, how they need it. And so our goal is the next evolution is to reduce the number of escalations, to let the tool really self remediate this.
One thing that strikes you in an industry such as finance, right, is how high the stakes are with regards to AI transformation. You're very experienced in this industry and at H.I.G. What is that? What have those increased stakes meant for the visibility and expectations placed on IT? Have they risen exponentially?
Yeah. So when you're in the capital markets like this, right? We cannot continue to uh, throw bodies at problems. The stakes are about profitability, viability, expansion, and what really, what's being asked of the technology function is to really help scale. And scaling is no longer uh, only identified by quality talent. It's the tools, it's the technology that needs to be added to it. And the stakes are higher than ever. We're being asked to do more with the same. And that's why I really believe we're right now in this age of digital assistant, heading towards in some cases, agentic workflows. And um, failure is not an option. We need to innovate faster than ever. As we said early on, we are now part of the solution, part of the financial solution, part of the business outcome, and we're being asked to be the equal partner in this and help drive this.
Okay, so leading on AI transformation, it's a privilege, not a right, you know. For IT, what does IT have to do to make sure it earns that privilege?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. It's a privilege. It's also an exciting time, and so we have to earn it, in my opinion, every day. We have to keep solutioning. We have to keep enabling. And I know when we talk AI with this transformation, that's going on right now. It's about doing it securely. But the days of, as I said earlier, the day of saying no are gone. We need to find the way to get to that enablement in a way that's secure, in a way that has governance to it, but that provides value. And that challenge is literally every day. It's an everyday conversation. It's a I've challenged my teams over the years of we cannot be the department of no. We need to be the department of l- let us think about it. Let us come back to you with a solution, with a possibility, with an option, and that's how you drive to being that partner that at success. Otherwise, the business will stop coming to you. You know, if you don't provide them a route for success, then you get shadow IT, shadow AI tools. You need to give them a path, and so we're always challenging ourselves. How do we get to a yes that works for both sides?
Um, Lewis, I want to finish on a sort of an almost kind of more personal question, right? You've had a really amazing tenure at H.I.G, and talking to you, it's obvious that your kind of passion for what you do hasn't diminished at all during that time there. I was curious to ask how you stay so focused on what's next inside the same organization, and what you think the key is to maintaining the kind of openness and curiosity necessary to stay successful, to remain relevant, to keep the business coming back to you, not just as a part of a department, but as a leader.
So I think the first part of it is I think I have an innate curiosity. And so constantly being curious about the evolvement of technology, curious about the business, constantly trying to be an eternal student of the business. Our business has evolved at H.I.G. So as we've added new strategies, I've tried to learn as much as I can about it. I try to empower and challenge my teams. Go learn about the business. If you haven't been involved with a particular business unit, then that means that's an opportunity to go learn about it. As you learn about that business, you learn about what technology they're using, they would like to use. You try to solution, you try to partner, and it's a constant dialogue. It's constant bridge building. Leave your assumptions at the door when you're walking into a meeting. One of the things that I've done for years is I've asked the different business units to sit in on some of their weekly calls as an observer, just to be on the call and take off my whatever my title is, CIO, CTO, CISO. Leave that at the door and just sit there to listen, to understand what their struggles are, what their questions are, um, kind of walk a little bit in their shoes for a little bit. And that education is priceless. To then come back and say, how can we add value? How can we do something to ease the pain, accelerate the process, uh, give them something, and then come back with a formal discussion. And the moment you start speaking their language, the moment you start translating technology into their business language, you just see the eyes open up and the encouragement and the enthusiasm. It's just an amazing experience. And then you do that once, and then they come to you as often as you come to them. But that takes time, that takes investment, and you have to keep investing in it. And to me, what's been great here is that HIG still has a very entrepreneurial DNA. And so I try to take advantage of that because technology is entrepreneurial. It's constantly changing. I chose to get into technology a long time ago because it's never the same uh, event every week. I walk in every Monday thinking I know what my schedule is going to be. And by Monday, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., I have a whole new schedule. And I thrive in that and I enjoy that.
Phenomenal career guidance and advice there, Lewis. And I just gonna, before I thank you and say goodbye, just want to recommend to any listeners out there who really enjoyed this interview to check out what I think is almost a sister interview on our sister channel, Solar for CIO. That's Alexandra Gimpfer, CIO at Leidos. I think what the two of you have had to say about AI transformation and DEX really complements one another. So if you've enjoyed this, be sure to enjoy that as well. We've got links to the show notes. Just remains for me to say, Lewis, thank you so much. Enjoy the World Cup over there, starting in a few days, and best of luck putting up with the revived Suarez jokes for that duration. I'm sure it won't go on forever.
Thank you, Tom. It's been a pleasure.
That's it for this week's DEX Show. We'll be back next week. And if you don't already, be sure to follow the show so you don't miss an episode. Until next time.